Senegal, a country of 18 million, is one of West Africa's most stable democracies. Senegal's government announced on Wednesday that the country's presidential election will take place on the 24th of March. The announcement follows tension in the West African nation after President Macky Sall postponed the election last month. The elections, which was originally scheduled for the 25th February, was postponed on the 3rd of February, just hours before campaigning was about to start. Opposition members who tried to block a bill cementing the delay were arrested and policemen fired tear gas at protesters gathered outside. Sall, 62, who has reached the constitutional limit of 2 terms in power, said when he delayed the poll, it was because of a dispute over candidates and alleged corruption within the Constitutional Council that approved the list. The council denied the allegations. This marks the first postponement of a presidential election in the country's history. A series of protests followed the postponement of the elections as several hundreds of people rallying across the Senegalese capital Dakar called for the country's postponed presidential elections to be held before April 2nd, the date when incumbent Macky Sall's term is set to end. Over the course of the protests, clash between security forces and protesters was reported by local media. In a protest in St. Louis, Dakar, things got ugly as 2 men in their 20s were killed. The worst of the crisis appears to be over after the Constitutional Council ruled that the vote must be held before Sall's mandate expires on the 2nd of April. The new date, 24th March, leaves the 19 candidates with little more than 2 weeks rather than the usual 21 days to drum up support. To avoid a runoff, a candidate must secure over 50% of the vote. Campaigning started on Sunday as presidential hopefuls slug it out in convincing the masses they are a good fit to be president. Some of the main contenders are Prime Minister Amadou Ba, a former economy and foreign minister. Ba, 62, was named Prime Minister in September 2022. Sall picked Ba as the ruling Beno Bok Yaka BBY coalition's candidate after a party-wide consultation process. Ex-Dakar Mayor Khalifa Ababakar Sall, 68, unrelated to the president, served as a mayor of the capital Dakar from 2009 to 2018. One of the President Sall's chief political rivals, he was arrested in March 2017 on suspicion of embezzling about $3 million in public funds. Former Prime Minister Idrissa Seck, veteran politician Idrissa Seck, 64, served as Prime Minister from 2002 to 2004 in the Senegalese Democratic Party, PDS, on the former President Abdoulaye Wade. Another candidate, Anta Babakar Ngom, entrepreneur and a political newcomer, Anta Babakar Ngom, 39, launched the Alternative for the Next Generation of Citizens ARC political movement in August 2023. She is one of Senegal's female candidates. And former Prime Minister Mohamed Boun Abdallah Dionne, 64, was President Sall's 3rd Prime Minister from 2014 to 2019. He was seen as one of the front runners in the race to succeed Sall within the BBY coalition. These candidates add to the 14 other candidates who will have just less than 12 days to try and convince the electorate. Although Senegal's election code states that there should be 21 days of campaigning, political analysts monitoring the politics of Senegal say the situation is exceptional, so the council can adapt and modify the legislation to ensure that an election holds. The March 2040 election is expected to be the most tightly contested race since Senegal gained independence more than 6 decades ago. Mr. Sall's 12 years in power is due to end on the 2nd of April if there are no sudden changes or disruptions.